I used to spend all my paycheck in a flash and end up broke. Today, I'll show you my 8-step plan that turned my finances around. You'll learn how to handle your money and avoid the mistakes I made. It's Friday, you've just been paid, and you're eyeing new shoes, a fancy dinner, or the latest iPhone. But before you hit add to cart, let's focus on what really matters: how to handle your money wisely. I've made all the mistakes, so today, I'll show you this easy, step-by-step plan for what to do with your paycheck, without any complex finance talk that'll keep you from falling into the common traps most people face. Step 1. Find your financial baseline. What is that? Simply put, it's the bare minimum you need to survive each month without stress eating pizza at midnight. Come on, we've all been there. Did you know that 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? That's most of us. And it's largely because we commit a classic psychological mistake called mental accounting. This is where we mentally assign our money into different categories, like fun money or tax refund, without actually sitting down to organize it properly. I was guilty of this too. I used to see my tax refund as a bonus to blow on stuff I didn't need, like a PS5. So how do you fix it? Simple. Get it all down on paper or Google Sheets for my fellow spreadsheet lovers. List your expenses, everything from rent and groceries to your sneaky Netflix subscription and takeout habit. This is your baseline, and knowing it will keep you from flying blind with your finances. Step 2. Trim the fat. Now comes the not-so-fun part: cutting out what you don't need. Look, I know that subscription to 3 different streaming services feels like a necessity. How else are you going to catch up on both Stranger Things and The Office reruns? But trust me, trimming these non-essentials adds up. When I did this exercise, I was shocked at how much I was spending on things I barely used. Floss subscription? Gone. Candy Crush microtransactions? Out. You want your baseline expenses, rent, groceries, utilities, and basic stuff like insurance to take up no more than 50% of your monthly income. If it's over, start finding expenses you can cut or swap for cheaper options. Do you really need to buy free-range organic avocados? Probably not. Step 3. Build an emergency fund before everything hits the fan. This is a big one. An emergency fund is your financial safety net for when life decides to throw you a curveball. Think of unexpected car repairs, or that time your phone decided to take a swim. A whopping 56% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency, and 22% have no savings at all. I learned the importance of this the hard way when I got into a car accident that cost me $5,000 to fix. If I didn't have an emergency fund, I would have been in major trouble. Imagine going into debt because you didn't have the cash to cover an unexpected expense. Your goal should be to save 6 months of your baseline expenses. If your monthly expenses are $2,500, aim for $15,000 in a savings account that's only for true emergencies. No, that trip to the Maldives doesn't count as an emergency. Step 4. Tackle debt. Like a pro. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Debt is a beast. The average American adult carries $6,500 in credit card debt, and paying that off can take years if you're just making the minimum payments. I've been there too. When I was first getting my finances in order, I had student loans, credit card debt, and car payments weighing me down. But here's what I did, and it worked. There are 2 main methods for paying off debt: the avalanche method and the snowball method. Avalanche method. Pay off your debt with the highest interest rate first. It's the most mathematically efficient way to minimize the money you pay in interest. Snowball method. Pay off the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. It gives you quick wins, and psychologically, it feels amazing to knock out those small debts. Personally, I started with the snowball method because I needed the wins to stay motivated. Every time I paid off a debt, it was like crossing the finish line of a mini marathon. Step 5. Start investing, because compound interest is magic. Now that you've got your debts under control, it's time to make your money work for you. And no, I'm not talking about day trading or crypto speculation. I'm talking about the long-term power of compound interest, aka the magic that turns your modest savings into a retirement fund. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. If you invest $6,000 a year from age 25 to 65, earning an average of 10% a year, you'd have over $2.7 million by the time you retire. Not bad for letting your money chill in the stock market, huh? But here's where most people make a mistake. They try to time the market. I get it. When things are shaky, it's tempting to pull your money out or stop investing. I did this once or twice, and I missed out on some huge gains because of it. The secret? Dollar cost averaging. Invest a fixed amount regularly, whether the market is up or down. Over time, this smooths out the highs and lows and reduces your overall cost per share. Step 6. Automate your finances and free up brain power. This step is all about automating your finances because, let's be honest, we're all busy. Decision fatigue is real, and if you're spending mental energy every month remembering to pay bills, save, or invest, you're doing it wrong. I used to spend hours managing my finances, and it wore me down. I was always worried I'd miss a bill or forget to invest. Here's what I did instead. I automated everything. Paychecks go straight into my checking account. Automatic transfers move money into a spending account and a savings account. Bills? Automatically paid. Investments? Automatically deposited. Now, I don't have to think about it. And trust me, that mental freedom is priceless. Step 7. Invest in yourself. Beyond saving and investing in financial markets, one of the best investments you can make is in yourself. This could be learning new skills, getting a certification, or even starting a side hustle. By improving your skills, you can increase your earning potential, which can provide a much bigger return than most traditional investments. For example, spending $500 on an online course could lead to a new job or freelance gig that adds thousands more to your annual income. Investing in yourself is often overlooked, but it's one of the most powerful ways to create long-term financial security and growth. Step 8. The opportunity cost of your time. Finally, let's talk about time, the most valuable resource you'll ever have. And no, I'm not going all philosophical on you here. In personal finance, they call it opportunity cost. Basically, the time you spend doing one thing could be better spent on something more valuable. For example, I used to spend hours every week cleaning my apartment. But when I started making more from my side hustle, I realized that those hours were worth more if I focused on growing my income instead of scrubbing floors. So I outsourced the cleaning and focused on what I'm good at. If you're spending time doing tasks that someone else could do for less money than you could make in that time, it's worth outsourcing. The time you get back could be spent making more money or simply enjoying life. And that's what we all want at the end of the day, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed by personal finance, start by taking these simple steps. It's not rocket science, but it is life-changing. And remember, no one's perfect. I've made my fair share of mistakes, but the important thing is that we're learning and getting better together. Now that you've seen how my paycheck routine can help you build a solid financial foundation, there's this powerful strategy that can take your progress to the next level. Check out my next video, where I teach you this advanced investing approach to supercharge your growth.